Well, it's 2014, and the Chicago Cubs are celebrating the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. It opened in 1914. The Cubs have been playing here since 1916. The Phillies, today's opponent, and we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Welcome to the ballpark. The Phillies 25-man roster, coaching staff, the Hall of Fame manager Ryne Sandberg, and we will get the Cubs here momentarily. Everybody bundled up, wind howling out, temperatures in the mid-40s today as the Cubs play their home opener after losing 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, but avoiding the sweep with a win yesterday. Former Cub Jamie Moyers in the Phillies TV booth, and JD, I said, yeah, wind howling out is strange. He said, don't even talk about the wind blowing out.
Everybody that ever pitched in this ballpark with the wind blowing out, they come here on a day like today, you just kind of shiver and go, glad it's not me on the bump this afternoon.
It will be Travis Wood to make his season debut. So right now we're at 40. There is a wind chill, but a west-southwest wind, and you see upwards of 32 miles an hour in gusts that may be even stronger than that. So at the moment, you'd say the left-handed power hitters should benefit, but hopefully Travis Wood can negate some of that power, being left-handed himself.
And that's precisely why Travis Wood is making this start this afternoon. You know, based on his performance last year, you could have made an argument for him being the opening day starter. Certainly slotting in number 2 behind Jeff Samardzija, but Ricky Renteria wanted him here against this Philly left-handed lineup.
All right, let's meet the 2014 Cubs. Over to Andy Bellison.
And now let's meet your 2014 Chicago Cubs. First, the manager, please welcome number 16, Rick Renteria. And the 2014 staff, assistant athletic trainer Matt Johnson, assistant athletic trainer Ed Halber, athletic trainer PJ Mainville, team physical therapist Ryan Mertz, the strength and conditioning coordinator Tim Buss, the Cubs team physician Steven Adams, team orthopedist Stephen Grislow, the home clubhouse manager Tom Hellman, and the assistant home clubhouse manager Gary Stark. And your 2014 Cubs coaching staff. Number 1, third base coach Gary Jones. Number 2, quality assurance coach Jose Castro. The hitting coach, number 3, Bill Miller. Bench coach, number 17, Brandon Hyde. Number 25, the pitching coach, Chris Bosio. The bullpen coach, number 35, Lester Strode. Catching coach, number 58, Mike Borzello. Number 65, the staff assistant, Franklin Font. First base coach, number 77, Eric Hinsky. The bullpen catcher, number 95, Chad Noble. And number 96, assistant hitting coach, Mike Brumley. And today's non-starters for your Chicago Cubs. Number 12, John Baker. Number 20, Justin Ruggiano. Number 21, Junior Lake. Number 29, Jeff Samardzija. Number 30, Mike Olt. Number 33, Carlos Villanueva. Number 36, Edwin Jackson. Number 39, Jason Hamill. Number 40, James Russell. Number 41, Jose Veras. Number 46, Pedro Strop. Number 51, Ryan Kalish. Number 52, Justin Graham. Number 53, Wesley Wright. Number 56, Hector Rondon. And number 63, Brian Schlitter. And now the starting lineup for your Chicago Cubs. Leading off in center field, number 64, Emilio Bonifacio. Batting second and playing shortstop, number 13, Starlin Castro. Hitting third, the first baseman, number 44, Anthony Rizzo. Batting cleanup in right field, number 19, Nate Scherholz. Hitting fifth, the third baseman, number 24, Luis Valbuena. Catching and batting sixth for the Cubs, number 5, Wellington Castillo. Hitting seventh in left field, number 6, Ryan Sweeney. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 15, Darwin Barney. Batting ninth and warming up in the left field bullpen, left-hander number 37, Travis Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2014 Chicago Cubs. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise and kindly remove your caps, as this afternoon's colors are presented by Sergeant Colin Sir, Staff Sergeant Dexter Cobbs, Staff Sergeant Manuel Reyes, and Sergeant Joseph Hudak, members of the Chicago Army Recruiting Battalion. At this time, please join the students from Chicago's Blaine Elementary School as they honor our country and our flag by leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please remain standing and join Wayne Messmer for his 30th consecutive opening day, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ as they honor our nation with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The great Wayne Messmer. And always great to hear the Pledge of Allegiance from the fine students from Blaine Elementary here in the Wrigleyville neighborhood. We still have one more big thing to do before we play ball today, and that is the ceremonial first pitch. And there will be a Hall of Fame component to it with a little twist today. See Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, and Ernie Banks, and they will conduct the 7th inning stretch. They were down on the field during batting practice this morning. We'll see them momentarily out on the field. Great atmosphere here, partner.
Yeah, a lot of excitement in the ballpark. The weather was a little ugly this morning when we first got here, windy and rainy. It's obviously still quite windy, but the rain has moved on, at least for the time being. Yeah, it's always fun. Opening day, baseball is a game where we celebrate the routine, the grind of every day, but two really special days, opening day and then, of course, the home opener. The players are all jacked up.
Getting settled in last night to their Chicago residences. The Phillies, meanwhile, have been here since Wednesday night. They opened their season in Texas. They won on opening day and dropped games 2 and 3. Cole Hamels is on the disabled list, so we won't see him this weekend. We will see Cliff Lee and A.J. Burnett on Saturday and Sunday. Roberto Hernandez
And off year last year, the Tampa Bay was 6-13, and he's a bit of a wild card in this rotation. A few years back, really, really good. In 2007, he finished 4th in the American League in the Cy Young Award voting. In 2010, he was an All-Star. It's going to be fun to watch him today because just knowing what kind of pitcher he is, looking at his numbers, and talking to people with the Phillies, they say, when his sinker's good, and he's keeping the ball down around the knees. It's one ground ball after another, but there's no real plan B. He's not going to overpower you up in the strike zone. If he elevates, it could be an ugly day for him. He allowed 24 home runs last year in 151 innings pitched, one of the higher home run rates in the American League.
Here come the Cubs Hall of Famers. And of course, we have not only 3 Hall of Famers who played most of their careers with the Cubs in the ballpark. We have 4, and he's in uniform. And here's Ryne Sandberg heading out with Billy, Ernie, and Fergie.
That's some baseball royalty right there. We only have 2 catchers. This could be problematic.
Nicely done. Well, this is a very special day for Rhino to be back here. He managed the Phillies as an interim skipper last September here at Wrigley, but now a full-time manager. Certainly has a lot on his own plate, but I know he looked at their schedule right when it came out, and I'm sure was thrilled to know that he and his family could come back to Chicago this weekend.
Yeah, when you have that interim label, you're not sure exactly what the future is going to hold. Now it's quote unquote his team.
So the pitchers are warmed up and we are ready for Cubs baseball from Wrigley Field. The Phillies and Cubs are next. Brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer or go to shophonda.com for current offers. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with products and services from AT&T. Rethink possible. Cubs baseball in high definition on WGN TV is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. A lot of look backs at great moments in Wrigley Field history. It started as Weekman Park back in 1914. We'll have the anniversary game on April the 23rd. Exactly 100 years to the date. The Cubs and Diamondbacks will wear Federal League uniforms. There were no bleachers in left or center when this ballpark opened. The scoreboard was located in left field first few weeks of that 1914 season. And they did have a press box. Was on top of the roof behind home plate. According to Vineline, some good notes on Weekman Park in 1914. Let's get Ryne Sandberg's Phillies starting lineup. I mentioned it, a big day on opening day. Scored 14 runs, but just 5 total in a couple of losses the next 2 days. Ben Revere, the leadoff man in center. Jimmy Rollins not in the lineup, actually not here today, so Carlos Ruiz will move up. Rollins away with his wife, who gave birth to their second child. Chase Utley hits third. Marlon Byrd cleans up. Ryan Howard batting fifth. That doesn't happen very often. We'll tell you about that as well. Dominic Brown is in left. Jason Nix will be the shortstop. Cody Ashe is the third baseman, and Hernandez, the pitcher, looking for his first career hit.
Well, Cubs defensively this afternoon have Ryan Sweeney in left. He can play all the outfield positions. Bonifacio in center. Nate Schierholtz in right field. The third to first we go Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo. Wellington Castillo behind the plate and making his first start of the 2014 season. An all-star from 2013, 27-year-old Travis Wood, 9-12, but disregard that. He was really, really good. Run support a big issue with 3.11 ERA, 200 innings worked. Really took a big step forward last year in his young career. Fastball, slider, cutter, change, and a curveball. A lot of left-handed bats in the Phillies lineup. That's why Ricky Renteria wanted to save Travis Wood for this series.
And your umpires, Hal Gibson back at the plate. Dale Scott, the crew chief, is at first. Dan Isonia is at second, and C.B. Buckner is over at third. Here's Ben Revere.
We talked about the Philly starter Hernandez and how he was going to have to keep that sinker down for Travis Wood. And he's really an extreme fly ball pitcher. He gets a lot of his outs in the air. Despite that, he was able to keep the home run numbers down last year. Part of the reason why he was so good. Against the righties, it's cutters in, and of course, let's throw that cutter away to the left-handed hitters. He just needs to stay out of the middle of the strike zone.
And we are underway. Strike one called on Revere. The right field foul pole is literally swaying in the wind. Ben Revere has yet to hit a home run in his career. A little bit different this year. We'll mix and match with our statistical graphics as we see hitters come through the lineup. And a lot of these numbers will change drastically as we're only 3 games into the season.
Revere not a power guy. He's a speed guy, former Twin.
All in 2 strikes on the Phillies leadoff hitter.
It's interesting when you contemplate these 2 clubs and where they are. The Cubs in this rebuilding phase, and the Phillies are in a make one more run at it phase with a very veteran, aged club.
Wind in the 1-2. Bounce to the shortstop, Castro. One away.
time Wood able to keep the ball on the ground. Nice play by Castro moving through that ground ball. You got to concentrate today when anytime the conditions are out of the mainstream, you know, make sure you focus a little bit more. You're extra cold or a real hot day. Everybody's bundled up.
We're at 38 degrees and the wind chill 28 with that west wind at 23 miles an hour.
Bad for the pitchers that it's blowing out. Good for us, because if it was blowing in, it would be brutal up here in the booth. Hands throwing on an extra layer.
Carlos Ruiz re-signed to a 3-year contract plus a club option back in mid-November. Two balls and no strikes. How about that? Those two guys involved in one of the best trades the Cubs ever made. Came over from the Phillies for Ivan De Jesus. The rest is history. That was prior to the '82 season. Rhino would turn in a Hall of Fame career. And how about Larry Boa, the former Phillies manager, is Rhino's bench coach. Things have come full circle. Ball 4 and a close one.
Take a look on our pitch tracks and see what the verdict was there. Borderline, but looked good enough.
Rick Renteria coming off the first win of his career yesterday in Pittsburgh.
They said he got here about 7 o'clock this morning. Took him a while to get out of his parking garage because the little card that operates the arm wasn't functioning properly.
Chase Utley takes a strike, and if the Phillies are going to contend, they need him to be healthy all year. Last year, 131 games, his most since 2009. He's always hit well against the Cubs.
284 last year with 18 home runs. He's always been a guy with a high on-base percentage.
Popped up shallow left center. And Castro called off at the last second by Ryan Sweeney. 2 down. You can email us, lenandjd@tribune.com. You can Facebook us and tweet us. And tweet us your Cubs selfies. Hashtag WGN Cubs for our fan cam segment all season long. Marlon Byrd, the former Cub, he's back with the Phillies. Got a 2-year contract. He fouls back to the net for a strike. He had the best year of his career last year between the Mets and the Pirates, after the worst year of his career the year before. I say worse because he was released and then got suspended for a PED violation. He had 24 home runs last season.
So Sandberg puts him in the 4-hole between Utley and Howard, breaking up those left-handed power bats.
Inside. One and 2 the count. There's the Wrigley Field 100 logo on the tarp, which hopefully won't be used this weekend.
Supposed to get better, isn't it, as the weekend goes along?
Into that wind. Sherholtz still drifting back, and he's got it on the warning track. So Travis Wood with a walk, but no runs allowed, and the Cubs are coming up against Roberto Hernandez when we come back. Starting lineup written out by Rick Renteria, and again changes today. Not at the top. Bonifacio leading off, playing center. Castro the shortstop. Rizzo at first. Scherholtz is in right. Luis Valbuena gets a nod at third today. Wellington Castillo the catcher. Ryan Sweeney starting in left with Barney at second, and Travis Wood the pitcher. He's already pinch hit this season.
Pinch hit before he pitched. How about that? Here are the Phillies defensively this afternoon. Dominic Brown, he's been known to have some troubles out there in left. Revere the speedster in center. Marlon Byrd patrols right field. Ashy Nix, he's in there for Jimmy Rollins. Utley and Howard on the right side. And Chooch Ruiz behind the plate for Roberto Hernandez, 33 years of age. You see the numbers last year with Tampa Bay. Primarily as a starter, he did work out of the bullpen some as well. 6-13 with a 4.89 earned run average.
He has faced the Cubs before, and he faced one batter back in 2006 in relief of tomorrow's Phillies starter Cliff Lee. That was in Cleveland, making his Wrigley debut and his first start as a Philly. Pitch to Bonifacio, misses outside. As we thought, he got a huge ovation from the crowd here after going 11 for 16 to start his Cubs career. Cornerman in, and the 1-0 pitch is low or outside. 2-0.
Like this could really hurt Hernandez, a sinker baller, if he's not getting that pitch down around the knees called, and he has to elevate. That will not serve him well at all. 90-92 with the fastball, as I mentioned, mostly sinkers. There's a changeup and a slider as well.
6'4", 230. And Bonifacio late.
Tardy on that running fastball. Pinch in at the corners for Bonifacio. Now 2 strikes. Ashy at third base backs up a little bit.
Full count. I'd say Emilio's seeing the ball pretty well.
Yeah, you can tell just the way a guy takes a pitch sometimes.
Sets up a 3-2, and he swings and misses for strike 3.
Well, it looks like the game plan for Hernandez and Ruiz is to establish that 2-seam fastball here early on. A whole bunch of them to Emilio Bonifacio. Ultimately gets into swing and miss.
You see that CB patch on the chest for the Phillies. Claire Betts, longtime Phillies owner, passed away on February 6th. So honoring her memory this season as Starlin Castro takes strike 1. One out of 13 to start the season. That's in the dirt. So 2012, January of that year, Fausto Carmona was arrested in the Dominican for using a false identity to get a U.S. visa. He had previously, as we mentioned, been known as Fausto. Found to be 3 years older than previously thought. Charges eventually dropped. Had to complete a work program in the Dominican. Spent most of the season on the restricted, then the suspended list. That's in the rearview mirror now, and he's Roberto Hernandez. 2-2.
Another one of those players to be named later.
Right. As Castro strikes out, 2 down.
He's off to a nice start here this afternoon. Again, nothing fancy, just one sinking fastball after another. A run on that thing. Moved a foot and a half. changes his approach with Rizzo.
Rizzo swings, sends a high drive to deep center. Rivera's back, and he's got it right up against the vines. Gave it a ride, but that's the third out. We're scoreless after one.
At Wrigley, and we remain scoreless. Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Rick Renteria, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching from home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape and pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs. Ooh, boy, does that sound good, and more.
I haven't had a chance to walk around the entire ballpark, but saw a couple of those murals out on the walls beyond the bleachers. Just beautiful, celebrating the century of baseball here in the friendly confines. Ryan Howard will lead it off in the second, batting fifth, and he swings and misses. This is the first time the Cubs have faced him since 2011. Second time in the first 4 games of the Phillies season he's batted fifth. On Tuesday in Texas, he had a streak of batting cleanup in his previous 665 starts snapped. It had dated back to 2008, and it was against the lefty.
Very vulnerable to that left-handed breaking ball. Yeah,
reserving the right to move him around a little bit against certain guys.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, putting yourself in a hole if you just continue to manage based on what, you know, a guy's resume or the back of his baseball card. Player's skill set changes over time, and Howard not the player he once was. Still a dangerous bat. He had a .173 against lefties last year. Wood carved him up nicely. A couple breaking balls early, and then slips this piece of cheese by him right over the outside corner. Howard protecting, trying to stay back because he doesn't want to get fooled by the breaking ball, but a little late to the party on the Swifty from Wood.
It's the 8th time he has struck out in his first 15 trips. Now Dominic Brown takes ball one. Led the Phillies with 27 homers last year and was an all-star in his first season as an everyday player. He went around, according to C.B. Buckner. One and two on Travis Wood. Back to 2010. His third career start, he was a Cincinnati Red. And he went into Philadelphia and took a perfect game into the bottom of the ninth. Lots of time for Darwin Barney. 2 outs. Celebrate 100 years of Wrigley Field all season long. Tickets are still available for the rest of this opening week of baseball in Wrigley Field. The Cubs will play 2 more against the Phillies, followed by 3 with the Pirates. To purchase seats, visit Cubs.com. So Wood takes a perfect game into the bottom of the ninth. Gave up a leadoff double to break up the no-no. He got out of the inning to send it to extras and ended up with a no decision. The Phillies won it 1-0 in 11. So you go 9 innings, you give up 1 hit, you don't allow a run, and you can't win. Well, the problem is he faced Roy Halladay.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Well, and that Philly club that won 5 consecutive division titles, they had a lot of firepower, but boy, that pitching is what really grabbed your attention. Halladay was the lead dog for most of it.
0-2 on Jason Nix, filling in today, as we mentioned, for Jimmy Rollins.
Rollins having a baby, or actually his wife did. So he's away from the club. He's supposed to be coming to town today. Will be ready to go tomorrow. So the Phillies are playing a little bit short. Just a 4-man bench for Ryan Sandberg this afternoon.
Swung on and missed. 2 Ks in the inning, and the Phillies go down quietly. 1-2-3.
Budweiser, official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Former Philly Nate Scherholtz leads off the Cubs second. Chilly day. Lights are on with the overcast conditions. Hernandez sharp in the first inning. A couple of strikeouts.
Talked about how to combat the elements here and keep the ball on the ground as opposed to the air, but if you punch a bunch of people out, that certainly helps too.
Line to center, but it's going to hold up for Revere. Well, we have a chance. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Third baseman, number 24, Luis Valbuena.
We are at Wrigley Field. We have the Phillies and the Cubs. And we, Len Casper and Jim DeShays, your announcers. Luis Valbuena, ball one outside.
I'm Len Casper, Rush Chairman. I'm glad to meet you.
I referenced this earlier. Cole Hamels is on the disabled list. He has left biceps tendonitis. And he'll be starting a minor league rehab assignment this weekend, as is Jake Arrieta, who's on the DL with the Cubs. Matt Latos on a rehab assignment with the Reds, and he faced Chris Bryant to start the season last night. Bryant took him deep. Double-A Southern League. 3-0 on Valbuena.
It's going to be fun to keep an eye on those kids as they progress down on the farm this year.
Minor league season kicking off yesterday.
Didn't he hit a home run his first spring training at bat as well? First game at least.
Well, remember his first pro game last year? Was it 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts?
He just setting him up.
Wind might keep this ball in play. It does. And what a catch by Ruiz. Boy, wind blowing in or not blowing at all, and it's probably 10 rows behind the screen.
And pop up behind home plate's going to have some come on back spin on it. And then you factor in the breeze, and breeze. The key here is just don't panic. Quick feet. He's lucky he didn't clip the wall and go down, but that's a heck of a play by the veteran backstop for the Phillies. Great concentration. You get a sense there of what he's dealing with.
His counterpart, Wellington Castillo, got the day off yesterday after catching 16 innings on Wednesday night.
You know how you practice catching the ball like that? Kids, your little seed pods come out of the tree. I think we used to call them helicopters.
Yeah.
You throw them up in the air, and the way they flutter this way and that. That's how you practice.
That's good. Castillo crushes one deep to left. Gone. Back of the bleachers, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
You know how you catch that one? With your eyes closed. That was blistered. Oh my. That did not need any wind. I would have been out of here on one of those days where the wind's blowing hard in from left. This kind of fits exactly what we were talking about with Hernandez. When he's down, he's good. When he's up, look out.
Got all of it, and the Cubs have the early lead. The 1-0 to Sweeney. That low strike that time on a changeup. One and two. Hernandez, like most sinker ballers, works pretty quickly. Stood him in with a fastball. Just to keep his defenders engaged.
Yeah, and guys that throw more two-seamers than four-seamers tend to get the ball put in play more readily, too. Four-seam fastball guys work up in the zone. They get a lot of balls fouled back, fouled off. Ooh, that was nasty.
Wellington Castillo blasting one into the bleachers, and the Cubs lead 1-0. Make sure you check out Len and JD's baseball blog at WGNTV.com. It's sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your nationwide insurance agent, serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. We have some Cubs Phillies historical notes here at Wrigley Field, and remembering Tuffy Rhodes 20 years ago, a 3-homer game against Dwight Gooden. We get into the 3rd inning. And great to have with us in the booth Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts. Tom, happy home opener.
Yeah, thanks. Happy home opener to you guys too.
Weather cooperating. Generally, it's dry. That's the #1 thing, and cold, but the wind blowing out today.
Yeah, it's cold and the wind's blowing out, but we got a great crowd, and it's just great to get the season started.
We saw you a lot in spring training, a beautiful brand new Cubs park. It's pretty much sold out every single day. Cubs setting all kinds of Cactus League records.
Yeah, that was just incredible. It was such a great experience to go through that, and then the results were so great, and to have 15,000 people plus for every one of those games was really tremendous, and very happy with it. Also turned out great for the players too. As you guys know, the players are very happy with the workout facility there, and we're excited to keep that going. And hopefully one of these days get this ballpark fixed up too. So,
well, some changes made over the winter. The ballpark looks great.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
It's Cody Ashe. 1-2 is fouled out of play. Roger Baird and his grounds crew a ton of credit. He endured one of the roughest winters ever, and I think a lot of people a month ago thought there's no way they're going to play baseball on April 4th.
Well, they had to bring in the space heaters and tent parts of the park to get the ice off, but Roger knows what he's doing. He got it all done.
They're 1-2 and another foul.
We heard a lot about the polar vortex and permafrost, and now we get to see green grass and play baseball. And that's the beautiful thing. Not only is it opening day, but for a lot of fans, it's like kind of a harbinger, right? Of spring is here, and the really warm weather's just around the corner.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's hope that that tough winter earned us a nice spring.
Yeah. That's the way it's supposed to work, right? You pay your dues and you get rewarded in the end.
Sounds fair to me.
Your impressions of the ball club?
I like it. I think I think we've got a different mix. Got some good young guys coming along, and a little more speed. Hopefully, we'll hit a little better with runners in scoring position going forward. But I think it's going to be a fun year. A little more depth in the bullpen. I think we've really improved.
Full count. The pitcher Hernandez is on deck.
I think we have a lot of platoon flexibility. A lot of mixing and matching this year is what we see, and I'm sure Ricky will do a great job of putting the right guys on the field.
Payoff delivery, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, let's go back 20 years here at the ballpark. 1994. Tuffy Rhodes becoming part of Cubs lore by homering 3 times off Dwight Gooden and the Mets. And would go on to be a home run champion in Japan.
Looks a little warmer on that day than today.
I want to know is how the guy had the foresight to bring a Tuffy Rhodes for president sign to the ballpark that day.
Great to see the 4 Hall of Famers out on the field today. Nice gesture, Ryan Sandberg joining Billy, Ernie, and Fergie
nice.
today.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
I know that embracing the former Cubs has been a priority for the ball club, and I think for the players, Tom, it's huge to stand around a batting cage and talk with Billy Williams, who can break down a guy's swing in about 3 seconds. Talk to Ernie about life and baseball. Fergie did everything he could do as a pitcher, and I think it's great for the young players who may not even be that familiar with their career to get to know them and learn about Cubs history.
Well, we're really blessed with terrific Hall of Famers. I mean, just great people, obviously after great baseball careers. We really have that going for us, which is a great thing. We also have a lot of other veterans that'll hang with us in spring training and just try to help out where they can. give players advice where they can, and that's important.
Called strike 3. So 2 outs and back to the top, and Ben Revere.
Well, the multi-generational thing is important too, because that's the nature of baseball fandom. Parents bring their kids to the ballpark, grandparents come with their kids, and they can talk about, yeah, I saw this guy play and he could do this. So you pass it on from one generation to the next. There was a great piece, I don't know if you guys heard it on NPR this morning, about the Cubs and about Wrigley Field, and they interviewed one of the fire chiefs across the way, and they just talked about the history of the ballpark and the sensibility of being here. And they talked to one of the ushers, and that's what he said. Every day in his section, there's a father helping his young kid learn how to keep score, and it's part of the charm.
Baseball is about family, and it's also the sport you go to when you actually want to speak to the person you're with. I mean, it's something where there's a rhythm and a cadence to it. You can have a conversation. You can all know when there's an important moment you have to concentrate. It builds to some of its drama. It's got a flow that really helps you when you're with someone and you want to see them and want to talk to them. And it's such an easy thing for you to bring your kids or to bring your parents or whatever works out, and have a really nice, pleasant memory of the day.
2-0 is fouled off. We alluded to it in Pittsburgh as we got the season underway. Welcome to the daily soap opera. It's also every day. The sport, something new every single day.
Absolutely. Well, that's the beauty of sport in general. I mean, sports have been around as long as civilization, and it's the fact that you don't know what's going to happen that makes them so compelling.
It'll be close, safe. Revere runs really well.
All right, now we're going to review that.
See if Ricky comes out. We had a lot of them, didn't we, in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I believe they got it right. It's a pretty good play here by Castro. Rivera just very, very speedy.
Okay.
Well, as we celebrate 100 years here at Wrigley, we'll see a lot of old uniforms, different themes for the homestands, and it's going to be a season-long celebration.
Yeah, we thought, it's Wrigley's birthday. Let's stretch it for the season and really have fun with it. So, obviously, April 23rd will be the official 100th birthday, commemorating the first game 100 years ago. And then weekends will be themed with the decade, teens, 20s, 30s kind of thing. And we'll have a throwback jersey every Sunday. We'll have a bobblehead every Friday from that decade. Different foods, different drinks. Just a lot of fun all summer. And hopefully everyone will get a chance to come out a handful of times and see the different things we're doing on the various weekends.
Those uniforms were on display at the Cubs convention this year, and I thought the highlight of the convention, the opening ceremonies, in years past, the Cubs would have, I remember when Jeff Samardzija signed his major league contract before he ever got here. He was kind of the one guy in the minor league system they were focusing on that year. There were like 15 to 20 minor league kids, and all the fans knew all of them.
Yeah.
So
right.
We talk about the past and we honor what's gone on here, but there's a lot to look forward to in terms of the future as well.
I walk around the park every game for several innings, and people know. People know Chris Bryant. People know Javier Baez. People know C.J. Edwards. They ask about him, and with the internet or with MILB TV, you can watch them. So people are really familiar with the minor league players. They know it's part of our overall story. They stay close to it, and they're watching it develop.
1-1 pitch inside on Ruiz.
Chris Bryant goes deep in his first Double-A at bat. Off Matt Latos is down on a rehab assignment, and all of a sudden, people are probably asking you, when are you going to get Bryant up here?
I'm sure. Does that guy hit a home run in every first at bat?
At
every level? It certainly feels that way. Oh, he's an exciting young player with a great head on his shoulders, and we think he's going to be a real cornerstone of this team someday. But we also got to give him time to make sure that he develops the way that we want him to, and not to rush him.
So, as an owner fan, do you have any special memories of opening day here at Wrigley?
I've been to a handful of opening days, and they were all about like this, kind of cold and wet.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing in particular that comes really specifically to an opening day.
Tom, I think somebody stole your seat today.
Oh.
Can we have her removed, or is that?
Yeah, right. Who is that? Who's that little poacher?
It's Laura Ricketts.
Sitting down there with Senator Durbin. Where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, great to have Senator Durbin on
President Preckwinkle and
our pregame
Senate
show
President
today.
Cullen. There's the mayor.
There's the mayor,
Yeah.
I'm going to head down and hang out with those guys here in a minute.
Got a piece of Ruiz. Here with the infield single. Ruiz hit by a pitch.
Sudden Travis Wood in a little bit of a bind here. 2 quick outs and then the infield single before this hit batsman, and now he'll have to deal with Chase Utley.
You referred to replay earlier. Obviously a fundamental shift. We had a little replay before. It's a small sample size, but do you like it?
You know, I think it'll work out. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out throughout the year. I think it's been relatively efficient, and they get through it. And I've been to the replay room in New York at Major League Baseball, and I think it'll work. It also is a nice thing for the umpires. So the umpires will get a couple weeks, actually 20 games a year. I think they're going to get actually in the replay booth in New York. So they got a long summer too, and they're on the road. For them to take a little time off and be in New York will be nice. And then it also, as part of that deal, for other ballparks, ones with video boards, they can show some of the more controversial replays, which was against.
We had that in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, which was against the, which was kind of like the understanding with the umpires they wouldn't do that up until this season. So I think it's a win-win, as long as as long as they can make it efficient and we can overturn a few bad calls here and there. I think it'll be a big victory.
Phillies rallying here with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch to Utley. A little bit outside. Tight zone today for Hal Gibson.
Yeah, I'll give him this. He's been consistent. You know, that pitch down there pretty much been a ball 3 or 4 different times now. So normally is called a strike. I think as a pitcher-catcher tandem, you can't give up on it. You have to keep trying to make your pitch.
That is a strike. 2-1.
Well, I tell you, you'd think on a cooler day like this, the strike zone would be a little larger, huh?
I know. Move the game along and go to dinner.
You're talking to a former pitcher. Warm. He always likes the strike zone big. Oh, in a way, it's 3-1.
So any updates on the ballpark and the renovation plan? Or
we're working through the plans. Obviously, we've got a few things we have to iron out before we can fully start the major renovation. Did a lot on the off season. If you notice, we got some new ivy in left field there. If you see on left, we took down the ivy and basically set it on the ground, replaced the brick, and then put the ivy back up. So and there was you did a fair amount of steel work in the off season. So we've done some things to make sure that the park's in reasonable shape. But the major renovations really kind of have to wait to iron out a few things on what our future is and what our ability to control the roof, control the outfield is.
3-2. The runners will get a head start. Utley, he has hit over 300 in his career against the Cubs and in this ballpark. And a ground ball picked up by Luis Valbuena. 2. There
we go.
Get Travis Wood out of the inning. Tom, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the day.
All right. Well, good to see you guys and have a great season.
Thank you. selfies. And if you don't know what that is, if you have like an iPhone or some sort of phone with a camera, you turn the thing around and take a picture of yourself. Selfie at hashtag WGN Cubs. And we will try to include it in our fan cam segment. It's been a very popular response. Cubs lead 1-0. Thanks to Chairman Tom Ricketts. Spending a half inning with us as Darwin Barney looks at a strike. Make it 0-2.
And his two-seamers really fit into Barney's strength. You see him turning on that sinker, moving down and in.
Signed as a free agent on December 18th. All-Star in 2010. Ooh. Boy, that one really ran in on Barney.
I think he's calling a foul ball.
Said it hit the bat. Barney tried to sell it. We may have a possible review here, depending on what Rick Renteria wants to do. I'm sure the guys in the video room are already looking at it to tell.
I can't tell. You know, normally you can tell by the hitter's reaction. Barney's such a clever guy. You know, you could see him selling it.
But he also isn't arguing that much.
Right. That's.
Hit his arm? It's hard to tell. That hit his arm. Yep. So now the question is, can he review it? Hernandez is standing on the mound. He's ready to work. I think it was Bud Black the other night who was denied a challenge because he took too long.
Darwin Barney is now, he's getting information from the dugout, and he's going over to tell Renteria to go ahead and challenge it.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, hit his arm. This is a long discussion.
Right. So I get the sense that the umpires are telling Renteria that he cannot challenge this for whatever reason.
Quite sure I understand it, but
I get a base hit.
runner to third, and it eats up Ashe.
Justice is served. The 9th annual Race to Wrigley, presented by Athletico Physical Therapy, takes place on Saturday, April 12th. Starts here at Wrigley Field. Participants will run through the Lakeview neighborhood and finish under the legendary marquee at Clark and Addison. To register, visit racetowrigley.com. Registration is limited to the first 10,000 runners, so sign up today. It's just around the corner. E5 or knock?
No, they gave him a hit. Bunted by Wood and foul.
bunting has been a little problematic for the Cubs here in the early going. Jeff Samardzija bunted into a double play in his game.
All right, I have the hit by pitch section of replay. Here's an example. Pitch strikes the batter. Umpire erroneously rules that the pitch struck the bat and rules foul ball, which is what happened. The manager on offense appropriately invokes replay, and the replay official reverses the call. So I don't know if they just thought in the Cubs video room that it was inconclusive, or if Ricky didn't have time to challenge. He was out there for a couple of minutes. Or the other option is they told him and he said it's the third inning, I'm going to save my challenge. I don't know. We'll find out later. Ultimately, as you said, the point was moot because Barney reached anyway.
Get the head of the bat out in front. There you go. Good adjustment.
Hernandez will have to get it to Utley covering first.
Third time's a charm. I'd like to have a guy like Barney in the 8-hole because he runs pretty well. He's not a speed demon, but he runs pretty good. And so when you're trying to sacrifice him along, you don't have to get a perfect bunt down to make that happen.
Foul tip, strike one.
Bonifacio struck out first time up. He was behind a Hernandez fastball in that at bat, and he's a little late here as well.
A bit inside.
Most of what he's seen has been two seamers running away from him, and pretty good at punching that ball the other way, slapping it through that shortstop hole, flipping one into left field.
Revere will make the catch, and Barney will have to get back to second. The other thing that could have happened, is, and I give Dave Halfelt on Twitter props here for bringing up this. Did Hal Gibson say that Barney swung at the pitch? And if that's the case, it doesn't matter if it hit him, it's a strike. Let's see. That's possible. That would not be reviewable.
Yeah, I didn't see him make any indication, though.
But at least a possibility. This is why we got to mic them up like they do in the NFL. We can explain to the crowd what the call was. But if that were the case, again, I don't know why Ricky would have been allowed to argue for 2 minutes. Ground ball, diving stop by Utley. That's all he can do is stop it, throw to the plate. Save! Barney got in, 2-0.
Great hustle, great send by Gary Jones, the third base coach. Even with Utley able to knock that ball down, Jones just kept on waving, and Barney able to scramble home for the Cubs' second run. And a good look here, you see the aggressive secondary lead. Utley doing what he's supposed to do, leave his feet to try to keep the ball in the infield, but there was no hesitation on the part of Barney nor Gary Jones. There's a knock and an RBI for Starlin Castro.
But an infield hit for an RBI, scoring the run from second base. The pitch to Rizzo. He pops into shallow right. Second baseman Utley calling and catching, and the inning is over. The Cubs get a run on 2 hits and lead 2-0 after 3. Stretch coming up later. It's brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Rick Renteria and Hal Gibson spent 2 more minutes talking between innings about the foul ball / hit by pitch. It was not a swing because he would have been called out. It was a 1-2 pitch. So the call had to be foul ball. Marlon Byrd taps foul. Give a shout out to our good friend Joe Shanahan, owner of Metro right across the street on Clark. Hope you're feeling better, Joe. I know he's watching at home today, rooting on the Cubs. One and two.
Cutter in, trying to jam him. Didn't get it in, and again, quality pitch, but pitchers are just not going to get that called today from Gibson. One of the reasons why Travis Wood was so successful last year, the ability to backdoor his cut fastball to right-handed hitters. He's always been able to throw it in on their hands, and really commanded the outside part of the plate with it last year as well.
Line dropped by Valbuena, and he literally boots it to Castro. And he will be charged with an error.
Yeah, if he's able to recover it after he knocked it down, he still would have had Bird, because Bird hesitated a little bit. You hit the ball in the line length, it's right at somebody, you assume you're out. You see he's ready to break it down, then he sees the ball down and off he goes. And then too late for Castro to make a play.
Leadoff man is on now. Ryan Howard. It's the second half last year with a left knee injury. And that'll get down into right. It'll send Bird all the way around to third. Howard will hold with a single, and the Phillies are in business. They have him cornered here with nobody out.
Just didn't finish the pitch. He had Howard waving at that slider down and away last time up. This time it stays up in the zone. Cubs will look for two. They'll concede a run here to get 2 outs on a ground ball.
By the way, I saw some internet conversation about Mike Olt hit his first big league home run yesterday. Why not in the lineup today? And Brent Torria talked about that with the media before the game. Still protecting that right shoulder a little bit, and kind of a cold, damp day today. Not in the lineup, and Luis Valbuena, left-handed hitter, against sinker baller Hernandez. Sure, we'll see Olt tomorrow against Cliff Lee.
Yeah. There's a school of thought in baseball, right, that if a guy has a good day today, he's got to be in the lineup tomorrow because he's hot. And reality says, well, how do you know he's going to be hot tomorrow? And if the matchup favors going with a left-handed bat, it makes sense to do that.
On a hop, and Castro can't handle it, and Bird is in. That should be a base hit for Dominic Brown to get the Phillies on the board.
Pretty solid contact from the Phillies here in this inning off of Travis Wood. And there had not been much solid contact off of him prior to this inning, but all 3 balls well struck. This is just good hitting here by Dominic Brown. That's how quiet the lower body is. Just uses his hands. The ball just eats Castro up.
So how about the Phillies? They got shut out in their final 3 consecutive spring training games. They then went to Texas. They pounded out 14 runs on 17 hits on opening day. And then they scored 5 total in their next 2 games. So it's really been all or nothing for them here the last week or so. Nix takes a strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Just got Nix last Friday from Tampa Bay for cash considerations.
Firing up the space heaters in the bullpen.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Much needed first out for Wood.
Well, there's no panic in Travis Wood. We saw last year when he'd get into trouble. He continued to execute, make good pitches. He was able to avoid the big innings.
Cody Ashe in the air, deep left center. Bonifacio's got it right up against the vines. Howard will tag and head to third. Ashe just missed a 3-run homer. Nice grab by Bonifacio.
Ashe is down in the 8th hole, but ultimately I think he's going to be more of a middle of the order type hitter as he develops. Good looking young hitter, gives this one a pretty good ride. Having flashbacks to Tuffy Rhodes, those 3 home runs we showed you from 20 years ago, all of them to kind of center, left center.
Hernandez makes contact, but he bounces to Barney, and that'll take him right to the bag to end the inning. The Phillies get an unearned run. It's 2-1 Cubs.
This moment to thank Sergeant Cavazos, along with all of our servicemen and women, for their selfless dedication, courage, and sacrifice in protecting our freedom and defending this great country.
Great hand for Sergeant Carlos Cavazos. Today's military recognition on opening day. I love the bunting in the graphic. That's very festive.
Yeah, well done. Yep. Good job by the graphics department.
2-1.
That's called bunting.
There's got to be a reason.
I guess it's like asking why is a tree a tree. Ponder such things.
It's a type of fabric.
Oh.
Nate Sherholtz skies out into deep right. Bird's got some room, and he makes a catch.
You would think a ball hit like that on a day like today would blow out of here, but alas, a long out. Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF. A little chilly out there today. Builds character.
Albuena's error led to the unearned run at the top of this inning. Three out of 8 to start the year. Slightly open stance.
So I want to finish the point on Olt earlier, talking about some questioning why Mike Olt wasn't in there today. And I mean, I'm not discounting the hot hand theory. Certainly a guy like Bonifacio, as well as he's swinging it, you'd put him in the lineup. But if there's mitigating circumstances like platoon advantage by having another left-handed bat in there, you talk about Olt, transitioning a little bit more slowly because of the shoulder problems. chance that he might have to make a tough throw in a wet field today, I think, factored into it as well. Plus, you want to keep all your guys involved. That's the advantage the Cubs have on their roster today, or this year. They've got versatility. They've got left and right-handed bats they can use from a lot of different positions on the field. And that's the strategy going forward. That's what Ricky Renteria intends on doing.
A one-out walk.
Mike, first major league home run coming yesterday in Pittsburgh. He's going to get his chances. He'll be in there tomorrow, I suspect, with Lee on the mound, lefty.
Castillo thumped one into the back of the left field bleachers his first time up. The pitch. Slider strike.
It was after the Castillo home run where Hernandez changed his plan a little bit, and I probably should say Ruiz, the veteran catcher, was putting down the fingers. And they were one sinker after another, and then Castillo went deep, and then he started to mix in more changeups and sliders.
Castillo's backup, John Baker, had quite a collision with Pedro Strop on a popped-up bunt late in the game yesterday. Everybody fortunately was okay. I saw John today. He said, I thought they were trying to get rid of collisions in baseball. Broke his bat, and that little liner's going to be caught by Nix. Valbuena able to get back to first. If you could not attend today's home opener to get your Magnet schedule, then come tomorrow. The Cubs match up against these Phillies for a Saturday 1:20 start. The first 30,000 fans, 21 and over, at the official 2014 Cubs Magnet schedule, presented by Budweiser. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Sweeney with 2 outs, inside, ball 1. Off the outside corner. It's 2-0. This is the 868th time the Phillies have played the Cubs here at Wrigley Field. Been some memorable moments. Check out our WGN Baseball blog, as we mentioned earlier. A lot of people remember Mike Schmidt, who homered in 4 consecutive at-bats back in 1976 here. Nobody will forget the 23-22 game in 1979. Phillies were the Cubs' opponent the first night game that eventually got rained out in 1988. And in 1918, JD, on July 17th, the Cubs beat the Phillies 2-1 in 21 innings. Milt Watson, a right-hander for the Phillies. Lefty Tyler, a left-hander for the Cubs, went the distance.
Back when men were men.
Watson went 20 innings, gave up 19 hits, 2 runs, faced 82 batters.
Yeah, well, obviously the game was a little bit different back in the day. It would have been funny if there was a pitching coach with a little clicker counting his pitches.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, he's up to 307. What do you think? Should we get the bullpen up?
That is, to this day, the longest game in terms of innings in Philadelphia Phillies history. Another 3-2 with Valbuena on the move, and a ball hit on the ground to Utley to end the inning. We've completed 4 at Wrigley, and the Cubs lead the Phillies 2-1. Schedule. Day games the rest of this weekend back on WGN on Sunday. Off day Monday, and then the Pirates come to town starting with a night game on Tuesday. Ford go further in any one of Ford's many fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. First start of the year for last year's Cubs All-Star Travis Wood, and he leads 2-1. Goes with a curveball at 69 on Revere, and it missed.
Well, another tool out of that toolbox.
Broken foot ended Revere's season early last year. And he was red hot before he got hurt. Was July 14th. He hit .407 over the 29 games before that season-ending injury. That is a bad break, pun intended. Bounce back to the mound. One away in the 5th, and let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Great to have you with us on opening day, the second for the Cubs this season. This is the home opener. The Phillies have 3 of them. Their home opener still to come. Strike called on Ruiz. On the hands that time, and a base hit. Dropped it down in front of Scherholtz.
Sometimes you make your pitch and don't get the result you were hoping for. You got in on the hands of Ruiz. Soft contact, but he was able to push it into right field for a base hit. But this is a good pitch. Moving up and in on his hands, forcing him to pull his hands in. He doesn't do much with it. But safe landing for Ruiz out there and right.
So 3 plate appearances, and he's been on base all 3 times. Utley 0 for 2. High drive out into right. Sherholtz at the warning track, still going back, and it's gone. That's a 2-run homer for Chase Utley to give the Phillies the lead.
There's been a couple of balls hitting this game in that direction, up in the air. Sherholtz comes to mind that I thought would fly out of here, that did not, and ultimately Utley able to take advantage of that wind blowing out. I mean, he hit it pretty good. He hit it high enough. Let that wind help push it out of the ballpark. I mean, this is a high fly ball. It just keeps on carrying.
Somebody lost a beverage just as that ball was getting out.
They lost a beverage, and Travis Wood just lost the lead. Chase Utley has the 4th highest on-base plus slugging among second basemen all time. Rogers Hornsby, Charlie Gehringer, and Jackie Robinson, 3 higher.
That's why you asked me if he's a Hall of Famer before the game. Now I know why.
His rate stats would indicate a Hall of Famer. His counting stats, hit total hits, total RBIs, home runs, probably a little bit shy because of the injuries. I guess it just depends on how long he plays.
Hitter's Ballpark, Philadelphia. Bird strikes out.
I'm with you. I don't know that he's a Hall of Famer, but I think there would be a case to be made if he could hang in there and play at a high level for another 3 or 4 years. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts now for Travis Wood this afternoon.
Howard could not find the breaking ball. 0-1. So no Roy Halladay. He's retired. Still have Howard and Rollins and Utley. That play actually made by the 3rd baseman, Luis Valbuena. That's 5-3 on the putout.
Replay brought to you by Xfinity. This is just good baseball right here. Castro Pushing one the other way. Utley able to knock it down, but Darwin Barney never slowing down, never hesitating. Good aggressive send from Gary Jones. About to pick up a run. Good hard ball. Xfinity, you're home for the most live sports. And look at that. Darwin Barney's leading off. That's good producing right there.
We try to time it. Called strike, and the Cubs find themselves trailing for the first time today. Well, a story out of Los Angeles. Yasiel Puig taken out of the Dodgers starting lineup. Got their home opener today. He showed up late for BP. So Matt Kemp is in the lineup. Kemp just activated off the disabled list. They're hosting the Giants.
You talk about the baseball being a daily soap opera. Out there in Hollywood with the Dodgers with that big payroll. Don Mattingly's got a lot of fires that he has to put out. With Puig and his issues, and portioning the playing time for the talented outfield group he's got. Now he's got the injury issues with Kershaw and Wilson.
And I guess Mattingly admitted that Matt Kemp was upset that he wasn't starting before the whole Puig thing happened. So I mean,
Puig helped make it all work by showing up late to work. I wonder if LA will prove to be too much for the man.
Well, you are really stuck in the 70s today.
Going back to fine.
You were doing a little summer breeze earlier as Barney hits it in the air to left, and Brown will make the catch for the out.
Filter doesn't work as well in a cold day like today. Whatever pops in tends to come out.
Here's Wood laying down a successful sacrifice in the third inning.
Now you called a home run for Travis Wood today. Or I did. One of us did.
I think you did, and then I did.
You confirmed it, yeah.
We did.
We did.
Well, he has 6 in his career, including 3 last year. He hit a grand slam off Jake Peavy, then of the White Sox. Lane Abbott, 4 years old, from Oswego here at his first ever Cubs game with his Aunt Cheryl.
In keeping with our conversation with Tom Ricketts earlier, the family bonding thing at the ballpark.
Another minor league note: Jorge Soler has a sore right hamstring. Friend Nick Gillespie tweeting that he's going to go on the 7-day minor league DL as Wood strikes out. Cubs encourage the use of public transportation to get to and from Wrigley Field, or ride your bike and use the Cubs courtesy bike check located near the corner of Clark and Waveland. For drivers, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle services on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. Go to Cubs.com for details. Outside on Bonifacio, who's 0 for 2, but 11 out of 18 on the season. Still hitting over 600. Sharply hit. Backhanded play by Utley to get him. Utley's had a heck of a day. Gave them the lead and just retired Bonifacio on a nifty play. 3-2.
Now for our Honda game summary. First home runs of the season for Chase Utley of the Phillies and Wellington Castillo of the Cubs. Phillies with a 3-2 lead as Travis Wood battles with Roberto Hernandez. Start something special with great leases and low financing on a new Honda. Visit shophonda.com or visit your local Honda dealer.
Baby, don't you want to go? Brown nicks Ashe against the southpaw Travis Wood. Another curveball. Start this at bat.
Breaking that wrinkle out third time through the batting order. These hitters a little something else to think about.
Tough luck pitcher last year, Travis Wood. You have an ERA of 3.11. You should be better than 9 and 12. Arnie scooting to his left, short throw to Rizzo. And Travis called one of his really good friends, Cliff Lee, from Arkansas. And Lee will pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, good matchup tomorrow, Cliff Lee and Jeff Samardzija. Lee got knocked around pretty good by the Rangers in his debut.
And won.
Yeah, that was the 14-10 game.
They probably owed him one, though. He hasn't gotten a ton of run support in the last few years. Would you be okay if we just got rid of pitcher wins completely? I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, it's kind of if you try to evaluate pitching over the years, over the long decades of baseball history, had they never recorded wins for pitchers, I think we'd have a more balanced look at pitching. But it'd be hard to get away with, do away with it now. But I think with sabermetrics becoming more and more mainstream and baseball fans paying more attention to them, there's certainly an appreciation now. It goes far beyond wins and losses when evaluating pitching. We saw it a couple of years ago when King Felix won the Cy Young in the American League.
Side corner on Nix.
Yeah, 13 wins maybe that year, something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah. Kevin Millwood won an ERA title and finished under 500 a few years ago.
Back in 1987, I believe it was, Nolan Ryan led the league in ERA and strikeouts. Finished like 8-16 or something crazy like that. At the time, he was the first pitcher to lead the league in ERA and strikeouts and not win the Cy Young Award.
Yeah, your ERA in 1988 was 3 right on the button. And you went 11 and 14.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years there, we didn't score a ton of runs. That was a pretty good pitcher's park, too. So, you didn't expect your team to score a ton of runs for you.
Welcome to our booth. Got it. Nix. No argument. Hey, the Cubby Bear looks great for opening day. Thanks to them for hosting the WGN TV pregame party today. And welcome to our new general manager, Greg Easterly, enjoying opening day. Ashe with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Over grounder to Barney to end the inning. Phillies go quietly in the 6th, and they lead the Cubs 3-2. The #1 live streaming sports service is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Cubs.com for details. Bench starting to heat up. Hector Rondon. Wesley Wright has a ball. Has been throwing. Hernandez in his Philly debut leading 3-2. He faces Starlin Castro. Here's a pitch. It's low for a ball.
Hernandez has pitched well today for the Phillies. Just one walk. Set an aggressive tone early on, throwing a lot of sinkers.
Jake Diekman out there in their bullpen.
One-run game. Usually first start of the year, you're not going to ask your starter to go that deep into the game anyway. String of left-handers due up after Castro here.
Send out happy 20th birthday wishes. Big Cub fan Fernando Nuno watching the ball game on WGN today. Castro strikes out swinging.
Number 5 for Hernandez, all swinging. Rizzo's been aggressive, attacking early. We'll see if Hernandez challenges him here, if they change the game plan. Carlos Ruiz out to have a talk with him. Maybe strategizing and maybe buying time for Diekman. He's pitched quite well today, and he's showing no signs of running out of gas, but it's a one-run game with the wind blowing out. He's looking into the Phillies dugout as he makes his way back to home plate to see if Ryan Sandberg's inclined to make a move. And I believe he is. This isn't so much about Hernandez, being tired or anything like that. He just wants his nasty left-hander in there against Rizzo.
We'll be back. 3-2 Phillies. Diekman, high ERA, but only a couple of games and 2 innings.
And a couple of appearances in their opening series against the Rangers, but this is a smart move by Sandberg with Rizzo up there in a 1-run ball game. Diekman is really nasty. 96-mile-an-hour fastball and a good slider to complement it. Last year, left-handed hitters hit 143 against him. He faced 69 left-handed batters, yielded 0 extra base hits. No doubles, no triples, no home runs. Extreme third base side of the rubber, then a crossfire delivery that presents nightmares for left-handed hitters. Last year in particular, he really struggled against southpaws. This is a real challenge here, though. Tony Gwynn would probably only hit 290 off this guy.
Did you see Ruiz's reaction there? Rizzo vacated, and Ruiz was like, wait a minute. That was a strike.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. 2-0. Now 2-1.
And that's the challenge for hitters, with bullpens being used the way they are in the modern game. It'd be one thing if Diekman was a starter and you saw him 3 times in a game, you could get a feel for that delivery, but it's one and done.
Side edge that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rizzo. Sherholtz on deck.
You can read the scouting reports, you can watch video, but until you stand in there and watch how he steps towards the first base dugout and then throws back across his body. Hard slider down and away or fastball down and away would be awfully tough to get to. If he makes a mistake with the breaking ball, that's where you can hurt him.
Full count.
And down towards the bottom of the strike zone. Rizzo doing a nice job taking him full. Nothing wrong with working a walk here.
Punches that ball out toward left, but Brown is there. A good swing at it. Makes an out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's pretty good at bat there off the tough left-hander. Made pretty solid contact. Front side leaking a little bit. Keeps his head in there and hits it on a line to left. The other thing about bringing Diekman into this game here, Ryan Sandberg could do it feeling pretty confident that Rick Rizzo wasn't going to go to his bench. He's not going to hit for Rizzo. Pretty good chance he wouldn't hit for Schierholtz or Valbuena either in this inning, given that it's only the 6th. So he knows he's going to have that left-on-left advantage. Either that or he's going to force the other manager to start to empty his bench. Take away some of his resources in a tight game that might not be available to him later. That's always the debate. Manager, the old cliche is that the players have the first 6 innings, and from the 7th inning on, that's when the managers really get involved.
Breaking ball strike. It's 0-2.
Had Rizzo hit one into the alley and was standing on second base, and there was a chance to tie the game, you might see Junior Lake or Holt or Ruggiano hitting here for Schierholtz.
Briefly a Philly. End of 2012, 37 games. Being acquired from Giants. And he signed as a free agent with the Cubs. Pitch. 2-2. It's a sign from Ruiz. Foul tip, strike 3, and that'll take us to the 7th. 3-2 Phils. Time now to check on our WGN Cubs fan cam. Tweet and send us your Cubs selfies at hashtag WGN Cubs, and we may use them in our fan cam. Tony Gwynn Jr. leading off the 7th against Travis Wood. Just can't hardly wait by the replacements for our fan cam. Gwynn batting for the pitcher Diekman. And we have 3 Hall of Famers in the booth with us. Fergie, Ernie, and Billy. And they're going to sing the stretch here today. As Gwynn fouls off. Fergie, is Ernie figuring out the harmonies and everything? What's going on here? Go ahead. You're the alto? Okay. Two strikes on Gwynn. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Today, that is his eighth strikeouts for Travis.
Down a run here, but he's really pitched well today. He'd love to have that pitch back that Utley hit out of here, but as we mentioned at the outset, he's a fly ball pitcher, and a day like today, it could be harrowing, but he's been pretty solid.
Revere. Strike called. Well, all in all, we'll take it, right? The weather today, it's dry.
I mean, he had tough luck last year. He should have won a lot more games. Biggest thing with left-handed pitching, Kenny Holston could always be here. Because they scored runs for Kenny. But that's one thing. I think good for left-handers.
Yeah, good left-handers.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay. What about left-handed hitters?
Oh, they loved it. Really loved it here. A lot of good left-handers hit here.
I know they did.
Yeah. Billy Buckner hit great here. So did Kessler when he hit left-handed. Billy.
No, we should do. We should just do an inning and just let these guys talk ball.
Oh, I know.
So I think the biggest thing, Kenny, because of the fact that his arm angle came out of the stands a little different. They used to have the bleachers over a little further. For the home plate eye, and a lot of times people used to throw white plates out on that center field. Yeah.
One ripped into left by Revere for a base hit.
Revere.
Is he new?
I don't know. Is he the center fielder?
Yeah, Revere is center fielder. Used to be
right.
with the Twins. Second year with the Phillies. He's on. And Rick Renteria is coming out, and he's going to make a move. That'll be it for Travis Wood. Looks like it'll be Hector Rondon, the right-hander. So Rondon for Wood. 3-2 Phillies in the seventh. Will face Carlos Ruiz. We're with Fergie, Ernie, and Billy getting ready for the seventh inning stretch. Fergie, coldest opening day, do you remember here at Wrigley Field?
34 degrees.
34? Well, we're
I had a colder
38.
one in Parc Géry, Montreal. There was snow on the ground. They had to sweep the snow off the lines. It was so cold.
Whew.
Yeah, but went out there and played.
That's all you can do.
Part of what you had to do.
Right. Revere the runner at first. Rondon will throw over.
And Revere, his game, as we mentioned, is speed. He doesn't hit for much power, but when he's on, he's a weapon.
Yeah, this is a catcher hit. I'm not sure. He got a base hit, or no, he got hit the time before, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been on 3 times today. Walk, hit by a pitch, and a single. Carlos Ruiz. That was neat that Rhino joined you for the first pitch.
Good seeing him, too. He's gotten a little grayer.
He's a manager.
Check in on him in September.
A lot of pressure.
Don will keep an eye on Revere at first. And he takes off for second. Castillo got rid of it quickly. Throws a little high, and Revere steals the base. Check out the ceremonial first pitches. There we go. So the pitcher didn't throw the pitch.
No, pitcher relaxed. Kind of tough when you got bursitis, so it's something I don't like to do anymore.
I hear you. Outside corner, it's a strike. A slider. Wesley Wright in the Cubs pen.
We'll probably get Utley. He's next. He's already homered today.
Here it comes. A little high. It's 3-1. Wind continues to howl out toward right. Wow. Blowing harder now than it has all day. Justin DeFreitas, right-hander, up for the Phillies. Just missed wide, ball 4.
Shooting for the outside corner, man. Good try, just a little bit off the edge.
They have maybe not a double switch. As Renteria calls for the left-hander Wesley Wright with 2 on and 1 out. and plays left. Ryan Sweeney goes over to right. So Sherholtz is out. Wesley right. A left-hander will come on to face Chase Utley.
Well, after Utley, it's Bird and then Howard. One out in the inning.
As you can imagine, on a day like this with the wind blowing, there's some debris blowing around the field. It's like Candlestick Park. Not easy to hold on to that hot dog wrapper napkin on a day like this.
Yeah. It feels like Candlestick Park in July. Man, that place could be brutal.
Veer at second, Ruiz at first.
They really bunched the outfielders for Utley. Junior Lake, the new left fielders, really shading towards left center.
Utley with a go-ahead homer off Travis Wood. Blocked by Castillo. Teams trying to even their mark at 2-2. Phillies won on opening day, lost 2 in a row then in Texas. Had a lead in the 9th on Wednesday, and Jonathan Papelbon could not hold it. Another one in the dirt on a breaking ball.
Wesley Wright taking a little extra time to ponder this next pitch. It's a big one. A couple men on base. Utley standing in the box with a 2-ball, no-strike count. He's usually pretty patient in these situations, so you know you've got to execute a quality pitch. I want to throw him a fastball right down the middle. You don't want to walk him either, and you got to find a way to get back into this count. Throw a fastball right down the middle.
Two balls and a strike. Bird awaits on deck. Lined and down in front of Sweeney. Throw toward the plate will be cut off by Rizzo. Utley knocks in another as Revere scores to make it 4-2.
Sweeping breaking ball, and Utley able to keep the hands back. What a great read by Revere at second base. I mean, he takes a quick peek over his shoulder and determines early on that that ball is going to drop down. Other base runners would have ended up stuck at third base.
Bird with runners at first and second. Back into the upper deck.
I think if Marlin knew that we had these three fine gentlemen up here waiting to sing, he would ground into a double play and turn them loose.
Right.
Guys are anxious to get going. One hopper to short would work.
We'll toss to Rizzo, so that's second out. We'll bring up Howard. Gotta love technology. There's our selfie. Photo bomb by JD in the back. I like that.
It's like Ellen at the Oscars.
Swing and a miss by Ryan Howard. So who's the leader of the band here, Fergie? Who's gonna lead this thing?
Everybody up for 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Good block by Castillo. 1-1 on Howard. Cubs led 2-0 in the third. The Phillies have scored the last 4. Pitch. Good spot for it.
Now for Howard, the guessing game begins, right? Is he going to come with another fastball? More times than not in this situation, Howard would see a breaking pitch. Ahead of him, I think you want to bury that breaking ball out of the zone. You want to start it out of third and run it off the outside corner. If you leave the breaking ball in the strike zone, you're probably doing him a favor.
Single walk single. Javier Ruiz Utley leading to an insurance run, and a 1-2 to Howard is high. Count even 2-2. Another lefty on deck, Dominic Brown. That's why nobody's up in the bullpen. This is Wright's inning to escape. Ball deep center. Bonifacio back to the warning track. Little leap. He's got it. The inning is over, and it's time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Budweiser.
To the ball game, Hall of Famers Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, and Fergie Jenkins.
Go everybody up. A 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Or it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs. Let's go here, Cubbies. Let's go.
have the lead. Justin DeFreitas, rather. You see his career numbers.
Dickman did his job, finishing off the Cub left-handers in the 6th, and now DeFreitas gets the 7th. Jonathan Papelbon is the closer. Bastardo is the they use in the 8th.
One ball, one strike. Two and one. Cubs trailing by a pair. Castillo on deck. He homered earlier. DeFreitas from the first base side of the rubber, and the pitch. Valbuena skies one out into right center. Revere drifting and catching. Castillo line one to the back of the bleachers and left. It's in the second inning. The first pitch to Welly is low, ball one. Hernandez 5 1/3, 2 runs. Wood 6 1/3, 4 runs, 3 earned. Lines on the starters.
1 walk for Travis Wood today. He struck out 8. A little bloop base hit by Ruiz in front of the home run by Utley. That really hurt.
Breaking ball is pounded on the ground, foul. Sure, there will be some games the Cubs win by 5 or 6. There will be games they lose by 5 or 6, but so far everything's been really tight. Low scoring. Fly ball the other way. Problem for Bird. Stylish shades.
Well, you know, starting pitching has been really good. When you get good starting pitching, that keeps you in games, and they do not have a real explosive offense. We saw it last year. They played 53 one-run games last year. Ability to manufacture runs late and a quality bullpen will be a real key for the Cubs season this year.
Big cut and a miss by Sweeney. 0-2. Started the game in left, now playing right. $38,283 for the home opener.
The game matters. They want to see the home team win, but I think many folks on opening day just happy to be back in the ballpark.
Sweeney fans, and we'll head off to the 8th. It's 4-2 Phillies. WGN's Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man. First pitch at 1:20. A.J. Burnett, Carlos Villanueva. Scheduled pitchers. Cubs still talking about it after Villanueva had to make 2 relief appearances in those extra inning games in Pittsburgh. 1-0 the count on Dominic Brown. Wesley Wright still working.
Now Carlos has said that he's good to go. I don't know what plan B would be.
He would not be Chris Russin. He pitched yesterday for Iowa. But yeah, I mean, I would assume Carlos will be okay to go. Two balls and a strike to Brown. Kick, the pitch. Looked good, didn't get it. 3-1.
Certainly could have been. Brown's long and strong, kind of a lanky kid, has power. Phillies won the East every year from 2007 through 11. In 2012 they were a 500 team, and then last year 73 and 89. First losing season in quite some time.
Their first, in fact, since 2002. Base hit, Dominic Brown. It's 2 out of 4 today. Comes Nix for the 4th time. He's struck out all 3 times so far. Antonio Bastardo, left-hander, up for the Phillies. Well, if you're Ryan Sandberg, yeah, the wind's blowing out. But the way this game has gone and the way the Cubs offense has gone, if you can add that extra insurance run, have a 3-run lead, you feel a lot better. Although I mentioned Jonathan Papelbon blew a lead. It was a 2-run lead in the 9th inning on Wednesday in Texas.
Starting to show a bunt, but as Wesley went to first base, he checked himself. Yeah, I think, regardless of the elements, the wind's blowing, the type of ballpark you're in, once you get to this stage of the game, it certainly makes sense to play for a run, just to try to pad that lead a little bit. Especially with a guy who's punched out 3 times. Probably not a whole lot of confidence he's going to get something done with the bat. Oh, that's a bad day at the plate. 3 punch outs and a pop-up bunt. Woof. That is a tough day at the yard. At least when you swing and miss and strike out, there's the potential. What could have been had I made contact? You pop up a bunt after 3 punch outs. Yikes.
Ashe, third baseman, first to throw over. Snap toss that time. Brown able to dive back in safely. Cubs will have Barney, Lake, and Bonifacio in the bottom of the inning. Fastball strike. Well, it's worked out well for Wesley Wright. He and his family, his older brother Derek, they grew up watching and rooting on the Cubs via WGN back home in Alabama. Got his first major league win here in '08. He was a member of the Houston Astros at the time. He recorded 1 out to get that win. His second major league appearance. Played inside, not by much.
Wright had a nice run with the Astros after being a Rule 5 draft pick from the Dodgers organization. Astros traded him to Tampa and made a few appearances with the Rays last year and signed with the Cubs as a free agent.
Runner goes and the pitch is fouled.
Could be a busy weekend for Wesley Wright and James Russell with all the left-handed bats, dangerous left-handed bats that the Phillies trot out there.
John Mayberry Jr. on deck. The pitcher's spot. Called strike 3.
That's the one that most of the day the pitchers have not gotten. You cannot make a better pitch than that.
Comes Chris Bosio, and the entire infield will get together on the mound. So we've got Mayberry in the game. We've got Barney in the game.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Got Thelma Lou.
Great to be reunited with our home WGN crew. Hi, Jim Tianis. I like the hat.
I want that hat. I need that hat.
Jamie Bath. Working hard. What's up, Chris? Hello, Bob. Bob Albrecht with the shades on today, the old school Cubs cap. Battling the elements. Greg Lucas. Hello, Greg. Not Lucas. Yes. Silas. Greg Lucas you worked with, right?
Yeah, I know Greg down in Houston for a number of years.
Pitch to Mayberry's outside, ball 1. Brian Schlitter up in the Cubs bullpen.
I think Lester Strode's got his electric vest on out there.
He might.
Battery powered. I've never seen it. I've heard of it. I don't know exactly what it is. It's kind of a battery powered heated garment.
It's got the hoodie. Probably about 5 jackets underneath. Knee-high strike.
Yeah, there it is again. Much of the game that was not a strike. Wright's been able to make the pitch and get it called a couple of times. We got Tony Gwynn Jr., John Mayberry Jr. coming off the bench.
Brown the runner at first, right to the plate, strike 2.
Living down there. Mayberry wants no part of it. With 2 strikes, he's got to be willing now to take a whack at it.
Deep to left, that's trouble, and it is gone. A 2-run homer for Mayberry. And the Phillies now lead 6-2.
That hurt big time, and Wright had been commanding that fastball down around the knees. Mayberry looked like he wanted no part of it, so they took one more shot down there, and you see Wesley just tapping his chest telling Wellington that's on me, because they're trying to go down and away, and that fastball just cut in on Mayberry. Actually, it looked like he was moving in off the plate. You see him pull the hands in and drop the barrel of the bat on that fastball.
Four times now in his career he's come off the bench to hit a home run.
Cubs had the early lead, but that's 6 unanswered runs now by the Phils.
Four-run lead now for the Phillies. Revere pulls one on the ground in the left and to right for a base hit, and that is the 3rd time he's been on. Albeit for right. Looks like Schlitter is ready. Faria will make the call. Phillies lead the Cubs 6-2 in the 8th.
This was a place that I enjoyed playing. Every game on television was a big deal to me. I knew that everybody back home was watching, and that really got me fired up to play every game, and I brought the most out of my abilities. But also I enjoyed the day games and saw the ball well here. And anytime that I was struggling at the plate, Wrigley Field usually fixed it for me.
That's Rhino on playing most of his career here with the Cubs. All those home games at Wrigley. But in the other dugout, Ryan Schlitter is on. The surprise additions to the opening day 25-man roster.
Yeah, he was originally sent to minor league camp and then brought back right at the end of spring training based on the good work he had done with the big club.
Real good story. Debuted with the Cubs in 2010. Phillies, Yankees, came back to the Cubs, arm trouble. He has now returned. Quite honestly, he just kind of fell off the map. This is already his 3rd appearance. And to Maine South High School. Park Ridge. A 1-1 on the way. Ruiz could not hold his swing. They've gotten really good production at the top. Revere's been on 3 times. Ruiz has been on 4 times. Utley has knocked in 3 from the 3 spot.
And that's why RBIs is such a team statistic. Can't drive in runs if you don't get opportunities. Utley's been a good spot today, hitting behind Rivera and Ruiz, who've been on base all day long.
Here's a pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop Castro. He's got time with Ruiz running, and he got him to end the inning. 2-run homer, pinch hit style. John Mayberry Jr., and it's 6-2. Here in the 8th. Now a 4-run game.
Couple of appearances so far this year, and scoreless baseball so far for Bastardo. Fastball slider. A lot of sliders, not an overpowering guy.
He's coming back from a 50-game suspension, violating MLB's drug program.
Three and 2 with a 232 last year. 48 ball games he appeared in. Better than a strikeout per inning last season. Maintained a pretty high walk rate throughout his big league career.
Underway here in the Cubs 8th. 1-0 on Darwin Barney.
Cubs with just 3 hits have not had a base runner since Valbuena walked back in the 4th.
Miguel Cabrera got his 2,000th career hit today. 2-run homer in the 8th inning for Detroit. Barney walks to start the inning. Tigers beat the Orioles 10-4 to start the season at 3-0.
Well, that's a bit of a brain cramp there. Walking the leadoff man in the 8th inning with a 4-run lead. See if the Cubs could take advantage.
Junior Lake. He was everywhere on the internet, all over the highlight shows, because he had the wrong jersey on for the first couple of innings yesterday. Instead of the Cubs road jersey, he had the Chicago jersey instead.
I can't believe how much play that has gotten.
Got a lot.
Down 4, you need traffic. So, I mean, you go up there just looking to walk. Patience is key. Make sure if you're going to swing, you get a good pitch, something you can handle. Not too anxious. This guy wants to dig himself a hole as a hitter. Let him dig it.
Home run swing.
Might have been up.
1-2. Congrats to Glenbrook North High School alum Jason Kipnis. He got a fat 6-year contract worth over $52 million from the Indians today before their home opener.
It seems to be the trend, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well, long contracts being signed here lately. Teams trying to make sure they have cost certainty, locking these guys up to long-term deals.
They're being delayed today, Twins and the Indians. Pelfrey and Salazar, the scheduled starters. Kansas City leading the White Sox 4-1. They're in the bottom of the third. The Royals starting their year 0-2, losing both games in Detroit. They got rained out yesterday. Strike 3.
Pretty good breaking ball there from Bastardo. After the high fastball, you see how he worked him up in the zone, then drops this yacker a little bit off the inside corner. Ruiz does a nice job framing it, gets his pitcher the call.
A final from the National League. The Braves beat the Nationals 2-1 in Washington's home opener. Ian Desmond had an inside the park home run overturned due to replay review. Changed to a ground rule or book rule double, we'll call it.
Sandlot Slugger hit his first home run of the year in that game.
Evan Gattis. Yeah. People expect those two teams to battle for the National League Eastern Division title. Inside on Bonifacio. He's cooled off today, 0 for 3. He's batting right-handed for the first time this afternoon.
Struck out first time, but hit the ball pretty well the next 2 times up. A line out to center field and a sharp ground ball to second. They made a nice play on him.
Three and 1. Barney walked to start the inning. Lake caught looking on strikes. Homers in the game today. Castillo for the Cubs. Utley and Mayberry for the Phillies.
All right.
All 4.
Yeah. Got to have the attention of the boys in the Phillies dugout. Comfortable lead, and Bastardo walks 2 in this inning. And now Castro and Rizzo due up for the Cubs. That merits a conference on the mound.
So I mentioned earlier we had the shot of Rhino with Larry Boa. They were teammates and involved in that Phillies Cubs trade years ago. Larry Boa was a Phillies manager at one point. Now he's a bench coach. Well, Ryne Sandberg replaced Charlie Manuel as the Phillies manager in mid-August of last year. Well, Charlie's back in the Phillies organization. He's a senior advisor to the general manager, Ruben Amaro. All kinds of interesting connections. Strike on Castro.
Well, you know, the Phillies having so much success under Charlie Manuel, clearly that was a tough goodbye to say when they let Charlie go. He's such a great guy. And I'm sure they're thrilled to have him still in the organization.
The 0-1. In tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been overcast all day. It has not rained. The lights have been on since we started. The wind has not really let up.
One swing away from making this a tight ball game. Good pitch.
Outside edge. 1-2.
What happened with Castro last year? He got caught looking at a lot of fastballs.
A chopper that'll take Utley right to the bag at second. That's a 4-3 double play to end the threat. We'll go to the 9th. 6-2 Phillies. In the 9th inning. And what a day for Utley. Should get Jimmy Rollins back in their lineup tomorrow. Slitter's still working and the pitch is in the dirt.
So while the Cubs have their core 4 working their way through the minor leagues, with so much promise. The Phillies, they've got their core guys that have been here a good long while trying to make one more run. Utley, Howard, Rollins, Chucho Ruiz, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels. A team that's got a lot of star power, big payroll, one of the top payrolls in all of baseball, one of the older clubs in all of baseball. And that's the burning question. Will they be able to stay healthy and competitive throughout the season?
And it's also an interesting challenge for Ryan Sandberg in that, Rhino he did it the right way, man. He rode the buses in the minor leagues. He really went back to square one in the Cubs organization, worked with a lot of kids. There was a lot of teaching along the way. And the first big league managerial job he gets is, as you say, a veteran laden team. And I haven't talked to Rhino specifically about it, but I'm sure he has some ideas about how he wants to do things. There was a story about he and Jimmy Rollins in spring training. Rollins didn't play 3 days in a row. There was a no comment dropped by Rhino when asked about Rollins and his attitude. Mentioned Ryan Howard moved down to the 5 spot for the first time in many years. So you got to pick your spots in your battles, I guess, is my point.
The key is, communication obviously is the key to it all. When you've got a veteran-laden club like this, you call these guys in at the beginning of the year, outline your strategy. Here's what I want to do, and here's why, and hopefully they buy in. And if they don't, that's when you have issues. That's when you worry about the clubhouse fracturing on you a little bit. You just hope that your veteran guys are accountable.
Well, he got a 3-year contract, so he has security. Hall of Fame resume as a player. And I think the other question too is if you're going to take over a club, not a lot of managers get a chance to take over a high payroll veteran laden team where the veterans have had, if not a lot of recent success, a lot of success in their careers.
Yeah.
So if it goes right, it could really go right.
It's really interesting. If you get the right pieces to come in and support those guys, they have a chance to be competitive. There's also the chance that it could just spiral out of control. But then you're right. That's where the 3-year contract really pays off, because then you get a chance if they flip and the team goes young, then you have a chance to really put your stamp on the team, create a culture of how you want the game played. And these guys, Utley, you can't find a more professional guy than Chase Utley. And even though he's butting heads with Rollins, I think at the end of the day, Rollins would play hard for him.
Mario Hollins apparently will get the 9th. Hit hard down to a knee is Castro, and he will get Bird as Rizzo stayed on the bag. Two down, and it's Ryan Howard who's 1 out of 4.
Balbuena trotting across the diamond to assume his position of rover out there in shallow right for Howard.
Yeah, he's already grounded into a 5-3 out. It should be like a 4-3, but it's the third baseman out there in that rover position. You do wonder at some point, with all the defensive shifting that has caused a paradigm change in the game, if we'll get to a point, JD, where you're not a second baseman, it's the area you play. So for scoring purposes, you know what I mean? It's more of the area, not the actual guy in the lineup. Because Luis Valbuena is not a third baseman right now. Junior Lake was not a left fielder when he turned a 7-2-3 double play the other day.
So, if you're keeping your scorebook and you just wrote down 5-3 for Howard's at bat in the 5th, and you're looking back at your book, he grounded out to third. I don't remember that. He grounded out to short right.
Off the plate inside, 2-1. think what the Phillies are counting on is full health, which they haven't always had, particularly with Howard and Utley. And that is paramount. They have a chance to compete in their division.
Yeah, and you just kind of hold your breath if you're Ruben Amaro Jr. and all the decision makers over there in Philadelphia, because it's a lot to ask when you have, you know, a roster full of mid-30 guys to think that they're going to stay healthy. Ruiz, the catcher, is 35. Their backup catcher, Will Nieves, is 36. They've added A.J. Burnett. He's 37.
Papelbon's velocity has gone down as Howard walks.
Marlon Byrd is 36, Rollins 35, Howard 34, Utley 35. So you got a bunch of your guys are post prime, and you know, coming off a 73-win season, to think that they're going to be able to get it back is a bit of a reach. That's one of the other challenges that Ryan Sandberg will face too, is to be able to tell some of his veteran guys, you're not playing today. I know you think of yourself as an everyday player, but you know, we're in this for the long haul. I need to keep you healthy and rested.
They have Freddie Galvis, middle infielder, on the DL, and probably spot those two veterans on occasion when he's back. 2-0 on Brown. Castillo has a chat with his pitcher. Rizzo plays behind Ryan Howard at first. It's a home run swing.
Now, having said all that I said about age, you know, the best players tend to extend their prime. You know, Hall of Fame caliber players or players just below it tend to hang on to their prime longer than the average guys, and still perform at a high level later on in their careers, if healthy.
We'll see a couple of those veteran guys on the mound on Saturday and Sunday, Lee and Burnett. I'll tell you, I was going to mention this earlier. We were discussing other things. Castillo today with the blocking.
Yeah,
he's just been terrific. Boy, Wesley Wright threw probably 5 or 6 in the dirt, and he blocked all of them easily. Howard runs on that 3-2 with 2 outs. Lake back, the lead, can't get it. Howard coming around third. He's going to try to score. Castro will not make a throw. And it's 7-2. Second RBI hit, third hit of the day for Brown.
Now Howard moving on the 3-2. He's able to come all the way around from first base to score. This ball driven over the head of Junior Lake. Maybe one more step before he leaves his feet. And he was able to make a play. Howard kind of limping, but chugging on home with run number 7.
He's had so many leg problems. Achilles, foot, knee, you name it. So if you're Jason Nix, do you want another at bat today? I guess you do. As you said earlier, it's been a very rough go. 3 strikeouts and popped out on a bunt.
It'll go down a little easier for him if his club doesn't blow this big lead they have in the 9th inning. Still, that's a tough day.
Giants trying to ruin the Dodgers home opener. It's 8-0 San Francisco in the 3rd.
Pitching in that one. He got lit up early.
Was Hyun-Jin Ryu. 6 earned in 2 innings. Rockies lead the Diamondbacks 4-0 in Coors Field. He's a Brian Schlitter fan, that guy, I would think. Can we say a big series in Pittsburgh? Game 4, but Cardinals and Pirates, Shelby Miller, Garrett Cole tonight. We'll call it more interesting than big, I guess.
Intriguing series in Pittsburgh this weekend.
And he breaks his bat on his final try, most likely today. But as you mentioned, his team is leading big late. It's 7-2 Phils. Baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer or go to shophonda.com for current offers. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with products and services from AT&T. Rethink possible. Underway in the Cubs' 9th, Mario Hollins is now on for the visitors.
A young left-hander who was a non-roster invitee, had not pitched above Double-A. Last year split time between Clearwater and their Double-A club in Reading. Well, I guess the year before he spent a little time, 3 appearances at Lehigh Valley.
He lost his major league debut on Tuesday in Texas, just foul off the bat of Rizzo.
After Anthony Rizzo, you just got to trust the process. Keep working. He only hit a $125 here in the early going with 1 home run, but he's had a lot of good swings. He's hung in there well against some tough left-handers. Jam there.
One down. Ruggiano will bat. The pitcher's spot, and he looks at a ball. One and one. Marlins does not waste any time between offerings. 1 and 2. Probably see Ruggiano in the lineup against Cliff Lee tomorrow.
Mullins wraps that ball behind him and kind of throws his glove up in the air. Looks like there's some deception. Maybe tough to pick the ball up against him.
On the inside corner for strike 3.
Look at our Xfinity pitch tracks. Sliding a little bit off the inside corner. We made a couple good pitches in there earlier, and he got the call.
Mike Olt announced, and Ryan Sandberg will be making a change here.
This comes under the category of leaving no stone unturned.
On with 2 outs, nobody on here in the ninth.
52 big league games, 3-7 record, 6.42 ERA, compiled with Minnesota and then Colorado last year. Up until that point, all his big league time had been with the Twins. 0-5 with a 7.04 for the Rockies last season.
Mike Alt with his first big league home run yesterday in Pittsburgh. Up by Nix in the dirt, but it's dug out by Ryan Howard. And that is it. The Phillies beat the Cubs today, and the Cubs home opener 7-2 the final. Cubs scored the first 2 runs in this game. Thought we might see a few more balls hit out of the ballpark, but I guess the Phillies took advantage. The Cubs were unable to here late.
It's funny, we talked about it at the outset. You expect a certain kind of game, and you don't always get it. The Cubs managing just 3 hits, none after the 3rd inning. They, Rizzo hit one ball deep to center that didn't carry as much as I thought it would. Shearholtz had another one, so Hernandez and the Philly bullpen did a pretty good job keeping the ball in the ballpark. Wellington Castillo being the lone exception.
We'll have more from Wrigley Field. The final score: the Phillies 7, the Cubs 2.